dad lost his glasses, they're here, love. It's alright, he's got some on his spare pair. I've literally just seen him, he's left him on his bed. Anyway, if you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a homeschooling or home educating, whatever term you prefer, mum of 5 in England. And I just wanted to talk about how it's okay if the reason you homeschool isn't just for the kids' sake. I say this a lot, homeschooling or home education is a decision that affects the entire family. It's not just going to affect the children. Pardon me, I said pardon me before I burped, and then after I burped. So, sorry. Anyway, obviously the child or the children are number one priority, and obviously what's best for them is what goes first. But it's okay to say that the reason you are home educating is not just for the benefit of the child. You know, there are benefits for your life as well, or for the way you want things to be as well. We talk a lot about the reasons why we homeschool, and the majority of them is to do with the children, as they should be. But people are always reluctant to talk about why they chose to, why it suits them, why it benefits the whole family, and it's not just about the child. And I don't get that, because if we have a baby, for instance, if we choose a free birth or a natural birth or a heavily medicated birth, people say, oh, don't judge, it's up to the mother, it's up to the parents, you know, it's up to them. Same as how we sleep with our baby. If we co-sleep, or we have a Moses basket next to the bed, or if they're in their own room or whatever, we go, don't judge, it's up to the parents, you know. Different ways suit different people, let's not judge. Same as feeding the baby, breastfeed or bottle filled. It's like, you know, so why is their education any different? It should be, whether they go to school or they don't go to school, it's okay for the mother to pick what's most comfortable for her, or what's easiest for her, or what sits right with her. Not, oh, the only reason you homeschool has got to be purely because your child didn't like school, or your child wouldn't suit school. For instance, we fell into home education because my oldest didn't get on at nursery very well, and that's how we kind of fell into it. But now because I remember once when I was pregnant with him, I was only just pregnant with him, so I was still wearing normal jeans, and I was saying to my friend, whose baby was a couple of months old, I was saying, well, no, it wasn't, she was heavily pregnant, sorry, she was heavily pregnant. There's only so much in it between my kid and her kid, yeah, she was heavily pregnant, pardon me, and I don't know why I'm burping so much, I do apologise. And I remember saying to her, my jeans feel a little tight. And then the next time I saw her, she brought me some maternity jeans around, which are too small for her now. Yeah, she was heavily pregnant. Anyway, her son, we went to his sports day at nursery. And it was the same nursery that I went to when I was a kid. And I remember sitting there pregnant thinking, one day we'll be sat here looking at my kid doing sports day here. Never occurred to me he wouldn't go in school. I didn't feel very good about it. I didn't really consider it much, but it just didn't occur to me that wasn't what we was going to do. You know, it was purely my oldest and what happened that led us into home education. But now we're in home education. There's multiple reasons why it's best for my kids, but there's also multiple reasons why it's best for me. So if I knew what I knew now, if I knew then what I know now, we wouldn't have just fell into home education. One of the reasons we'd be doing it is because it suits me best, and our family best, and my beliefs best. Like, sorry, I've just noticed there's all red things on the carpet, and I don't know who's done that. So, it's like the other night, I was taking my daughter up to Rainbows. It was only a third one? It's only a fourth one. It's only a fourth time going to Rainbows. She's only 5. And I was holding a little hand waiting to go in. And you know how when you're with them all the time, you don't always appreciate how little they are. But suddenly, with all these other girls coming, I suddenly realised how little she was. And I was holding a little hand. And I was thinking I couldn't part with her for 7 hours a day. I don't want to part with her for 7 hours a day. And she went into the club, she had a lovely time, she came out. But what I mean is, so that made me think, you know, one of the reasons we're home educating is not just for the child, because obviously that's how it started, it's for me as well. I don't want to be without them for 7 hours a day. And that's okay for me to say that. People go, if it's alright for people to say, oh, I could be with them all day, every day, I want them to go to school, or I want them to go to school because I believe that's what's best for them, or I want them to go to school because I believe in what they're teaching them, or I want them to go to school because I want them to do GCSEs, or I want them to go to... It's okay for a parent whose kid is going to school to say, I want them to go to school because this, and it's all to do with the mother's beliefs and wants. So why isn't it okay for you to say that about home educating? So whilst it's for my children, and it started off for my oldest son, I'm going to list a list of reasons of why I want to home educate, why it's also for me, and that is okay. So, I want to home educate because I don't want to be without them for 7 hours a day. I want to home educate because I want my children to be together. I want them strong sibling bonds. I want to know that when me and my husband are dead, that my children have got the strongest sibling bonds they can have, and they'll be there for each other. I want to home educate because I want the freedom to spend our money on how I want to spend it, i.e. what the kids are wearing, what they're eating, where they're going, when we can go on holiday, all that. I want to home educate my kids because I don't believe in some of the things that they're teaching children at the moment in schools. It goes against our culture, and I think some of it's dangerous and irresponsible to teach children, especially at incredibly young ages. And I don't want my kids being indoctrinated into that. I want to home educate because I don't want my children to be pressured by tests. I home educate because I don't want my children to be bullied. I'm home educate because I want my children to grow and to be themselves without peer pressure or any other kind of outside influence making them think they shouldn't be the way they are already. I home educate because it means we can see other members of the family who we wouldn't normally see because they'd be at work, like my mum and my husband when he was well enough to go to work. I home educate because I went to school and I didn't bloody like it, and it's left me with lasting anxieties about certain things, and my brother and my husband. And I don't want my children to go through the same, and I don't want my kids having school wounds that they're still healing from in their 30s. I home educate because I want to. I believe it's what's best, and it's because I want to, and these are my children, and I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that this is what I believe is right for my children, and this is what I want for my children. And just because it's about education and not any other type of parenting thing, it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to say that. Bit of a ranty on this one, but I just wanted to say that if the reason you are home educating is not purely 100% just for the child, it is for you as well, that's okay.